Stanley Sfekas, professor of classical philosophy at the University of Indianapolis, Athens campus, accepted my proposal to search in the Athens National Library for evidence concerning the correlation between the positions of contemporary astrophysicists and of the ancient Greek philosophers regarding the beginning of the world. Professor Sfekas has published a doctoral dissertation on Aristotelian metaphysics, and his views have always been especially valuable to me. After a detailed investigation that we conducted in ancient texts concerning ancient cosmology, we reached common conclusions, a fact that made me particularly happy. The important point about the question concerning the beginning of the world and its functioning that Professor Sfekas emphasized in his discussions with me is whether the question itself is of exoteric or esoteric significance. I took this to mean that if we were to formulate a theory about the beginning of the world, based solely on cold numbers and equations, then we would create a theory grounded in the nature of numbers, but not in the functioning of the principle itself. In order to discuss the hypothesis of a cosmic beginning, one is compelled from a logical point of view to raise the question, what existed before the beginning?
If we assume that prior to the beginning of the world there were only laws, we come to the legitimate question, how in an infinite past a certain God instituted a cluster of infinite laws without any possibility of their manifestation, trapped, as it were, in complete inertia.
However, because law has as its main feature the expression of motion in any type of matter whatever, the notion of the inertia of laws contradicts common sense.
Aristotle holds that matter is not generated, nor is form. Both are eternal. That which is generated is neither new matter nor new form. Becoming is a transition from a possibility to a reality, from potentiality to actuality. This is precisely what the all-powerful motion that transforms potentiality into actuality validates. This motion is identical with cause and effect, which define the constitution and the essence of the matter in the world.
From this it follows that for the universe, there never was a beginning.
Zeno claims that there is no matter without spirit, or spirit without matter. Matter is the passive element of nature, which is in constant transformation, while spirit, which is considered an inseparable part of matter, is the active element.
Every real entity has a physical constitution. The action of spirit upon matter manifests itself as what he calls seminal reason.
And then you have Anaxagoras, who said that there are seeds, infinite number of seeds, and everything is in everything else, and there is mind. The first to speak about mind. Mind are the laws, of course, that govern the universe.
For Zeno, the first principle of the world is spirit, that which defines and safeguards the lawful order of nature. Assuming that there was a big bang from a hydrogen molecule, that molecule would have to carry within it the seminal reason, meaning the breath of life, which expresses itself in an automatic interior activity. If this did not occur, then the universe is only mechanistic. If, however, it is only mechanistic, without the privilege of automatic motion, then its machine must be condemned to eternal inertia. But the dominant feature of the universe is motion. Thus, the universe as a whole, in this view, must be composed of matter and spirit, indissolubly bound. Returning alone to my home that rainy night, I was thinking that the most serious question in our lives is, why does the universe exist? I posed myself questions and tried to answer them. Is the universe perfect? If it is not perfect, then why is it amenable to equations? And why do the laws which define its existence and its essence not collapse? If it is perfect, is it eternal? If it is eternal, can it have a beginning? If it does not have a beginning, does it have a divine source? if we assume that it evolves with an outward tendency, ought it not to have an automatic tendency to flow inwardly for it to construct its perfection? If the universe functions mechanically, can it also be animate? Does it have a divine origin? Does it have a divine destination? If not, why not? As I turned the key in the door, I recalled the scientific view pertaining to the weak anthropic cosmological principle, which claims that approximately 10 billion years were needed for intelligent life to develop on our planet. In short, sentience, thought and human intelligence, according to this theory, must have begun from a zero basis with a tendency towards an infinitely evolutionary state of affairs. Conversely, the more one examines the past, the more man is seen as less intelligent, according to the same theory. If this is the case, I said to myself, the entirety of Greek philosophy must be abolished, as it concerns the autonomous existence of complete knowledge. And this, because I have always believed that science is the servant of wisdom, and never the converse. And that the key to every scientific demonstration is the experiment produced by the mind for the solution of each problem. I was happy as I closed the door of my house. I was certain that at the apex of the pyramid of becoming, there was spirit, only spirit. Spirit which is eternal, unborn and immortal. Intellect is an eternal creation of eternal man in an eternal world.
The three big questions of philosophy, as we know, is what is really real, what is knowledge, can we have certainty of knowledge, can we have truth, and of course, what is the good, what is the agathon? These basic questions that correspond to metaphysics, to epistemology, and to ethics, the three major parts of philosophy.
I always enjoyed accompanying Carolina to the popular market of Athens. I found it fascinating to watch the people, young and old, men, women, and children, browsing, choosing, shopping. A strange twist of fate led us to a truly philosophical fishmonger. The owner of the fish tried to persuade me that the fish is at this moment in front of me, and that if I don't take it at once, it won't be there in front of me any longer, because someone else will have taken it. The fish you see before you, said the philosophical fishmonger, will no longer exist in 2 hours. It will be as if you never passed by here, so you are losing the opportunity to acquire it. Are you saying I will never find any fish again, because the ocean will run dry? I asked the fisherman, grinning. The ocean works for you and for everyone, answered the fisherman philosopher. The ocean does not run dry. It is infinite. Do you know why it is infinite? It's infinite for one reason, because it was never born, and it will never die. I know what I'm talking about. I believe you know a lot, Carolina told him. Have you ever seen the sun rise from the sea while you are in a boat fishing? The fisherman continued. No, I answered. If you are lucky enough to see it, then you will understand what God has granted us, and we don't know how to value it. In the end, I purchased the fish, not because it impressed me as food, but because I liked the man who sold it to me, and who spoke of eternal values. This is a fish. It might not also not be one for me if I had not bought it, and certainly, if I had not come to the market, I would never have learned that the fish is, in other words, exists. This fish came out of an ocean which continually produces fish. And this ocean is infinite in a conventional sense, since for millions of years, humans have been eating fish from it, without the fish ever disappearing. I was thinking that Aristotle believed that being refers to whatever man can apprehend in the entire universe with his 5 senses, and that being is characterized as a subject by matter as well as by form. So the fish exists for me because I perceive it.